And maybe for the sole reason that Vince was less involved with the day-to-day and more involved with hatching schemes like the Wile E. Coyote of how to torture this guy.
Stop. You know, it's funny, too, because I saw a couple of interviews with Coach where he literally would say that. He said, yeah, you know, Vince liked me because I would take it. It's just, I'm just sitting there like, really? Wait,
it's pretty simple math,
isn't it?
He's
getting yelled at for stuff he didn't even do.
Yeah, he's sort of like, it's Stockholm Syndrome. He's in an abusive relationship with Vince McMahon.
Well,
and
I don't think Vince is abusive. I think Vince is just
I feel
a hard-working person.
I feel abused by him.
You feel abused by Vince McMahon?
Yes, I do. Because he's insulting my intelligence and he's hurting my brain.
He's a friend of mine. Be careful.
Right. You don't have friends. We established that earlier.
Be careful talking about my friend Vince McMahon. You're on a roll.
I am. That's right. So I'm going to move on to something more important.
Oh, boy. Oh, my Buddha.
And I know that you were going to sit on this for another week and let it go, but we're not going to do that. I'm going to break the third wall here, okay? And I'm going to talk about, because I think this is important. You've been getting some heat in real life this past week. I know that for a fact. I know I'm not supposed to know about it, but I know about it. And I want to talk about it.
Okay.
Because, you know.
You're going to literally put us in a bad spot
insult
here.
You, insult the show, and I'm involved.
Okay.
So when I don't care until I'm involved, and now I'm involved.
Wow.
So now I care.
Wow.
So I think the audience should know about what's going on here. That we put a lot of work into this.
Sure.
I mean, I do. You not really, but I like a certain level. This show is at a certain level of discourse. Okay. You're intelligent. I'm intelligent. And we have an intelligent discourse about a great many things.
Yeah.
We cover a lot of ground.
We hit it.
And I think, even though I don't care about wrestling, I think that our reputation is pretty solid as two people who know how to have a conversation and deal with issues. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
We've done it for a long time. We've gone out of our way to handle a lot of delicate stuff that we've talked about. We've covered race. We've covered sexism and sex. We've covered abuse and domestic issues. We've covered everything. PTSD.
Jeez.
You name it.
The whole 9 yards.
We've gone through all of that. And you know what? I think we brought some interesting points to light, and we've handled it in a mature fashion, which is amazing considering we're usually not that mature.
And it's been covered. I mean, you got the websites; they cover our show.
Well, and that's true, right?
You know?
If I feel like if we were talking nonsense, no one's wasting any ink on us, digital or otherwise.
No way, no way.
So, you know, I think that some of the stuff we talk about gets strong reactions from people.
Sure.
And not just from our audience, the loyal listeners, as you call them. I call them people who could do a little bit better in getting me questions. But other people in the wrestling world. People I know reach out to you directly. They go out and they talk to you directly. And some of your favorite wrestlers and people who are in the biz behind the scenes, they listen. And, all right, so a good example of this, if I'm getting too far in the weeds, is when we're covering the JBL.
Oh, boy.
Allegedly bullying.
The heat that I took for that JBL segment, folks, was just beyond anything that's reasonable. I mean, I literally had people within the WWE.
Now, I know you say Vince is your best friend and you're full of crap. But
sure.
In reality, there were people behind the scenes.
Yeah, people behind the scenes.
Reaching out, going, hey.
Yeah.
Because no one wanted to talk about it.
Yeah, and you know, it got a little intense. I'll just say that. It got a little intense. And quite frankly, I don't care.
Well, and that was similar to when we were talking about the CTE stuff.
Sure.
These are sensitive topics for people who have money invested in this.
Yep.
We're just fans. I mean, I'm not a fan, but you're a fan. I'm a fan of the truth, justice, and the American way, like Superman. And
what?
And so I don't mind covering that. I don't mind going there.
Sure.
You say, look at this topic. I say, that's ridiculous, or whatever. And we go there. And, you know, every week listeners come back.
Yeah. Yeah, they're coming back for a reason.
Well, and I mean, it's, you know, we're funny. I'm hysterical.
Oh, well, I don't know
I'm one of the funniest people alive.
I don't know about that.
And so they're coming for that. But they're also coming because there's stuff in the news that we hit, and I think they're entertained by it, and I think that they know we're going to have an interesting take on it. We're no dummies.
Well, and it provides people with talking points, too. You know, how do these guys perceive this issue? People that we respect as far as their opinion is concerned.
Well,
how do they perceive this issue?
But also, we're nobodies. Just like the people listening to this show.
Sure.
Our whole audience, they're a bunch of nobodies, just like us.
Well, speak for yourself.
So what I'm saying is, we have a platform, And so if we're going to have a platform, we got to respect that power. It's like there's a certain person in the Oval Office who has a very powerful platform, doesn't respect the platform, and look what kind of trouble we're in. So on our very little tiny platform, I think it's equally as important to use it wisely.
Sure.
And we have fun. We joke around a lot. But when we talk about a serious subject, we get serious. And sometimes I get seriously upset, and sometimes you say stuff that's seriously ridiculous. But you know what? We're taking it seriously.
And that's the thing. So let's not even dance around it. I'll just jump right into it. So,
because you know where I'm going with this.
I know where you're going with this, so I'll just bring it up here. So there was a situation in our wrestling group for some of you fans out there who have not been exposed to Duke's Wrestling Crew. It's the name of my specialized group for some of our loyal listeners there. And it's a place where, we interact about some really serious things, and a lot of the stuff that happens there spills over into the show.
Can I say I crap on the listeners a lot, but the guys and gals that interact on the page, there are topics discussed there that have nothing to do with wrestling necessarily.
Yeah.
It will maybe start there, but everybody's pretty smart.
Absolutely.
Everybody's pretty smart, and if they're not smart, in my opinion, they at least stick to their guns. So I respect that.
And as far as the male to female ratio, it's almost 50%.
Yeah, that's pretty good
both
too.
ways there. So that's which is very rare to see a wrestling group where there's a high female participation, because a lot of groups, they want the women to not speak up. They don't want them to share their opinions.
Aren't we having this problem and on a macro level in this country?
And that's the problem.
So, and so I think that it speaks well of me and you that women feel comfortable
not only
up.
comfortable, but they feel like this is home.
They're empowered.
This is where I go to talk about
this
stuff.
That's right.
So one of our group members posted a YouTube video of a woman who went to a book signing that Mick Foley was doing, and she was protesting outside, and she brought up the fact that Foley, when she was 15 years old, raped her. That's what she alleges. Statutory rape. So this was just posted. Factual. This is what this person is alleging. This is what happens. No one is saying that it actually happened or didn't happen, other than this is the video. This is what this woman is alleging.
So the video is out there. And one of our people in our group shared it to the group, saying, take a look at this.
This is what somebody's
going
saying.
on.
Exactly. This is the news. You guys cover the top stories in the world of professional wrestling today.
This sounds potentially significant.
Absolutely. And when I did a little bit more research, it was all over the Twitter feed and all the whole 9 yards there. So it is a top story. No two ways about it. So suddenly I started getting messages.
Privately.
And at first it was just one. And it's like, all right, well, I expected this person to send me a message and whatever, sure. But then it was another and another. And they were just saying these things. Well, Mick Foley's a good friend of mine. I've known him for decades. And how dare you allow something like that to be posted? And, you're really hurting your reputation, and et cetera, et cetera. And it's like, what? No one said one way or the other.
Right.
No one gave an opinion on the issue. Just, here's the issue. News.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was kind of strange. And not too long after, I started getting other messages from people who don't want to speak on the record for whatever reason, and maybe that'll change someday, but other people who corroborate what the woman was saying.
Interesting.
Which is, we're getting into some heavy stuff here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay? So my point is, I'm going to allow it to be posted in the group because it was just what's happening. And you know what? Yeah, we're going to talk about it on this show. And I wasn't there. And there hasn't been any legal process. Okay? So I'm not saying that Mick Foley did what he's alleged to have done. And to be fair, Mick Foley, for the past, almost decade now, he's been a prominent proponent of supporting victims of sexual assault. He's raised money. He's spent countless hours of his own personal time devoted to that cause. And, you can Google it. There's been tons of articles written about his work in that area. And I commend him for that. But I got to say, if these allegations are true, that's disappointing. That's disgraceful. And it's unfortunate. I don't know if they're true. And I guess time will tell. As to my knowledge, Foley hasn't put out a statement yet on this, either confirming or denying. We'll wait and see what happens. But in the meantime, folks, we're gonna at least bring it up. We're gonna let you know this is a top story. This is what's happening, because that's the responsible thing to do. Okay? And for anyone who has a problem with that, you must not be paying attention. Okay? Boston Bad Boy works in media. Yeah. I've worked in government off and on for the past 20 plus years. Okay? We deal with social justice issues. So again, whether it's racism, sexism, whether it's bullying, PTSD, CTE, a guy with cancer who's having brain surgery, we will cover it all, including statutory rape alleged. That's just the way it is.
Well, boy, and you have to think, and, I used to think that people were smart. I used to give people the benefit of the doubt. And I'm seeing more and more, as the world we're living in right now, in the past couple of months, that people are really willing to bury their head in the sand and to be outraged at the wrong thing because it challenges their whole worldview.
Sure.
Because what this brings to mind is, you can't say X because if that person is capable of Y, then oh my God, who else? Who else?
Who else?
Who else?
Yeah.
Am I next?
Yep.
It's absurd. It's absolutely absurd. Now, that being said, we did not go out there and create this video.
Hell no.
This is something that somebody is alleging is a factual incident. Okay?
And she was there.
She was there. She tells her side of the story. We are not professing to be law enforcement nor attorneys to pass any kind of judgment on what's factual and what's not. This is an allegation. But you know what it is? It's news. And you know what we talk about?
News.
The news.
Yep.
And you know what we talk about a lot? The news pertaining to wrestlers. And you know what we also talk about? The news pertaining to what's going on in the world. And guess what? There's an awful lot of women finally speaking up about things that men have done inappropriately to them. And I'm wagering, I'm personally, just me, not speaking for this show, not speaking for you, I'm personally wagering that 99.99% of them are speaking the truth. Because who would put themselves through that? Who would put themselves through something like that? Especially when in the history of this is going on, women were being paid off to be quiet.
Yeah.
So, if you're saying they're doing it for money or attention, why didn't they do it quietly? Why are they going out and doing it virally on the internet? Is it because they finally feel like someone might actually effing listen to me this time?
Imagine that.
So here's the thing. Would I rather not talk about something because it's uncomfortable to some men who don't want to hear about it in a wrestling group? Or do I want to err on the side of caution to not be the one that didn't believe someone? Or at least didn't follow what they were trying to say and give them the ability to speak what they want to speak and let the law and let the investigations and whatever happens figure it out.
Sure.
Anything less than that is unethical journalism. Now, you and I are, this is not Walter Cronkite and Edward R. Murrow, even though, boy, would I love to be. But if we can strive to be like that, I think it's a win here.
Exactly.
And if you can't understand that, go listen to another effing podcast. Because I'm sick of dealing with people like that. And I know 99% of our audience isn't like that. But I know there are some twerps that listen. And they want to tell you, privately, in private, you know what, come on this show. To all those people, and I know who they are, who sent Duke messages, come on this show and open your mouth. Come on this show and talk about why you think certain people are above being talked about. Tell me why. Come on and explain it. Put your name on it.
And here's the problem.
Because you know who put their name on it? This woman who's doing the accusation.
And her name is Angel Amoroso.
Yeah. She went out there. She put herself out there.
Completely.
So, again, it's an allegation.
Yeah.
You want to be an allegation? You want to be a denier? You want to be a person who says we shouldn't talk about this? Then put your name out there on it too. And we'll talk to you. I'll talk to you.
And here's the thing.
And let's see what you have to say. You know why? There's nothing they have to say.
And I can't vouch for anybody.
Absolutely.
I can say, listen, I know this person, and based on what I know, this is what I know of their character or expect of their character, but I wasn't there. So for people who go out on a limb talking about what they think they know about other people, ooh,
right,
that's bad news.
Right.
That's bad news. I'm sure a lot of people didn't realize that Kevin Spacey was whatever the heck he is at this point.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or our buddy here who just had to leave
Al
Congress.
Franken. Senator Franken.
I'm sure a lot of people didn't realize that guy of all people.
And you know what? And the thing that kills me is I hear this a lot, and you see this a lot. They were always nice to me.
Sure.
Here's the thing. I don't think a guy like Kevin Spacey was just walking down the street grabbing people by the genitalia.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what...
I think it's a little more calculated than that.
Well, exactly right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like... People want simple answers to stuff like this.
That doesn't
it's like,
exist.
all right, monster, not monster.
Yep.
So, there's no such thing as someone who's a total monster or a total not monster.
They're a human being.
Exactly right.
Sure.
So if that's in their MO, to be a creep, to not respect women enough to respect boundaries, to assault women or to harass women...
Or
then,
to potentially be raping a child.
Well, right.
You know, statutory or otherwise.
It doesn't mean they're going to go around shooting little baby puppies.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So to say, well, I know that my interactions have been good with this person, so there's no way it could be bad. I would never do that. I wouldn't do that for you. I wouldn't do it for my own mother.
Nor should you.
And I think that, because everybody's human. Everybody has their own path that they're on for whatever reason. And these people who are messaging you should know better than to go out on that kind of a limb. Because they don't want you or I, and you'll know to be me, to name names of the people who were deniers and apologists if something bad were to come out for this.
Well, I mean, I just think that people just have to keep in mind that this show, we're going to, and we said it from the beginning, we're going to tackle the tough issues.
That's right.
And we're going to do so in a intelligent manner, but we're not going to shy away. We never have, and we never will.
No.
And the fan base doesn't want that. They want us to talk about this stuff.
You know what? Let us know. I'm interested to let us know. Let us know.
Sure.
But you know what? If you're going to let us know something, put your name on it.
Yeah.
Because our names are on this.
Well, look,
we're here right now talking in our voices with our names.
If you want to hear a show that doesn't deal with this type of stuff, there's a million options out there.
That's right.
But there are very few that go where we go. And do it in the manner that we do it. But guess what? People keep coming back, brother.
I think I'm rubbing off on you a little. You're putting yourself over a little here, and I think
I'm putting the show over.
Well,
I'm putting us over.
I think I had a little bit to do with
that.
And
I'm putting our audience over because you're intelligent enough to know what's going on here. Okay, so we had to go there, folks, and we're going to continue to go there because that's what we do.
I just think, you want to say something, come out there and say it.
Sure.
Come out there. Even a guy like Dingo.
Yeah.
Came out there as Dingo most of the time and said his piece. You know what I mean?
He did.
And now you get these cowards who call themselves pro wrestlers, big tough guys. Oh, big tough wrestlers. They want to run their mouth, but they'll only do it in private.
But then you have those pro wrestlers who said, hey, look, we know that there's some fire where that smoke is.
That's exactly right.
So whatever it is whatever it is. And once again, just to put a bullet point on this issue here, there's no legal process as far as I know thus far. We're not saying anyone did anything or didn't do anything.
That's right.
We're saying this is what's being alleged.
That's right.
That's the news. When there's an update, we'll update you.
That's right.
Okay?
Yeah, we're not gonna try and insinuate one way or the other.
Listen, we were the only podcast that did not bury Alberto El Patron when that allegation of domestic violence was happening. And everybody else buried him.
Because everybody jumped to a conclusion.
They jumped to a conclusion.
And guess what happened?
We never did that. We said, wait a second here. There's a lot more going on.
Let's wait and see.
Let's wait and see. And what happened? She beat him.
Yep. And we reported on it. So don't tell me that I can't talk about these allegations. All right? Don't tell me how to do my job. Just as simple as that. So I'm allowed to do that.
Yeah, well, you're not even allowed to do that. I'll fire you. Thank you to the Spirit of Detroit for joining us this evening. Great folks. You can head over to the Facebook, Twitter, type in Duke Loves Wrestling. Let us know what you think of the show. Next week, National Duke Day, and I can't wait.
That's right. God,
yeah, you better have something good, like I said earlier, brother.
I'm already
You better have
disgusted.
something good this time, pal. All right? something great.
No. You know what? You're going to get nothing and like it. And I'm going to get you coal for your stocking.
God. You know,
and I'm going
here
to
we
talk
go
to everybody
right now.
you know.
Here we
You're
go
not
with
gonna
the
hear
nonsense.